part 4, which is actually the neck part 2. What we didn't get to the last day, because we spent a long time focusing on getting that headstock right and the sanding, is the frets and the nut. We'll come back to that in a second. The frets on this guitar neck are, let's just say, lethal at the moment. They are sharp. You could cut yourself on some of these, particularly on the 12th. And my job today is to attack them with these files. We have some wire wool and a tiny bit of sandpaper perhaps, which we'll put on a block. And we are going to get these nice and rounded. This will involve a ton of masking to protect the wood here, because there's quite a nice grain under that wood actually, which is quite good. I sanded this down a little bit, and yeah, we're doing okay. But I say, once I sanded it down, I realized that some of these frets are uneven, and I don't have a fret scale at the moment, but I do have a steel ruler, which is true, so this will help me to judge where the high points on the fretboard actually are. So the next thing we're going to do is a time lapse of masking up, which is basically, I'm just going to cover to here in each fret, and we're going to go in starting from the bottom and we'll work our way up to the top. What I was saying a minute ago about the nut, I'm pretty much going to, I think I'm going to replace it. It's plastic, you can see it. First we're slightly off center on this side, but the way that this is cut, I don't know if it's a benefit or a hindrance that they're cut quite shallow. I might be able to recut it if I have to, but I've got another nut on order, which may require a little bit of chiseling to make it a bit bigger. It's a synthetic bone nut, and might be worth it. On the plus side, what arrived today was my wood stains and lacquers. So we're going, I'm not going to tell you what colour it is yet, because it's hidden there. Yep, flip it that way so don't get a tiny little bag of powder, but it'll do. It'll make an awful lot. We also have some black ebony, which is, these are all water based, and I have a plan. This is going to be for the next video. We have a nitrocellulose finish for a clear top coat, or we have a something a little bit more, just a regular clear lacquer. Haven't decided which one I'm going to go for yet, but hey, I got the two of them there anyway. This is just a sanding sealer, which is brilliant after you use a water-based stain. And you just literally put some nice lint-free cloths here, which will go in, and we'll put that in nice and heavy. And after that, we can choose whether we want an old style finish with the nitrocellulose and see if it'll actually fade and crack over time, or something a little bit more robust, and with enough wire wool to last the next nuclear winter. So we're good. Okie dokes. But that's the next video. It's just a tease. Just a tease. Boom. Masking, time lapse. Next. Then we are successfully masked off here. I said what we were trying to do is protect the frets themselves so we can get right up to them here, because there's a couple of loose parts here, but mainly we're looking at rounding off these edges. You can see some of these, unless you get your nail under, and because of that it is a hindrance to playing, and it can actually cut you. I've actually got a cut right here. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. That actually came from the fret itself. So we're going to start here. We're going to work our way up. I know where my priorities lie, because I found a good few bad sides on this one, and even more on the underside. Right here is like running your finger across a cheese grater. So we're going to work all the way to the top. Very satisfying masking. And we shall carry on. Next. Right then, as you can hear, it's beautiful weather here in Dublin today. We've done our first pass over this side of the neck, and we've nicely rounded every one of these off. It doesn't take too long as it goes. The nice thing about it is, oh, there we found a hot spot. Let's go in with this. There we go. That was the one. Carry on going. Absolutely rotten day today. That's nice. There we go. So we're going to carry on up the neck. We're going to double check everything there before we flip it over. There's one there. This is stuff you don't want your thumb or your under your soft part of your hand to catch on as you're travelling up and down the neck. We're doing our best to avoid the wood as well. The fretboard, as I say, is quite good on this. Probably its best featured on the neck, really. But there. That one's okay. That one's actually a little low. You feel it sort of catching on this end. Because what you'll be doing is when your thumb comes up the neck, it's like hitting a barb. You know? I say sometimes you can catch it off the nut, sometimes you can catch it off this. The next step after we do the next, so we go, ow. Yeah, I found one. Right there. Jesus, that's like a knife, that one is. Next one, when we've done the other side, is we're going to start maybe rounding up a tiny bit on the edge of this fretboard. Because it's a very, very flat radius. If you look down, it's very, very flat. And the good thing is about with the masking tape on, you can see how uneven these are now. You see, this one is quite low. You see how low that goes. This one stands quite a bit prouder, but this one, that might even need a bit of hammering in. It's very high. Yeah, I'm going to take a bit off the top here. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Next, we're going to do this side, exactly the same. Oh, we found another sharp point here. I'm dreaming of files. Using so much in the last one. I'll give it a flat one, make it easier. Doesn't take much, it's quite a soft metal really. These FRETS aren't exactly stainless steel. That one's a bit tall. Keep it in a nice circular motion. Very nice. That one's off centre. That's high. I'm going to start marking the high ones soon. And what we do is we actually go in, I might use a little bit of marker pen just to mark the ones there. We'll file that down using this flat file, and we'll go across it really, really gently at first because it's quite abrasive and this is slightly softer. Then we'll go in with the wire wool, and then we'll go in with a block and some fine grit sandpaper. That should give us a nice sheen there. And then if I can find it, I'm going to try and buff it up, and we're going to do a bit of work polishing. But that's the last step really, because this is going to go through staining and various things and so. Anyway, next, cup of tea. Right then, that was a hefty lot. come off there, and so you can see what that sort of thing comes off as a residue. You've got to be very careful with that. We've done pretty well with smoothing out of this particular fretboard. The royal we, obviously. And I think we're ready to unmask this and see how it's gone. That one's still a bit high. There you are. You can never figure it out till you run your fingers over it. But it might just be the masking tape doing that. We're going to undo this a little bit so you can take this out. And you can see the absolute muck that's come off this. So let's just unmask this and we'll see how we've gone. I'm looking down it and it looks a lot cleaner. Particularly here, which are at our high points. You can run your fingers all the way down the fretboard now and there is no sharp edges. Very nice. And more importantly, I think we could almost string this guitar up now. See how it sounds, but we're not going to. Right, next. So, we have one fully completed neck. I'm very happy with this. This was worth doing. This is now a perfectly serviceable neck. There is no sharp edges whatsoever. We've rounded a tiny bit off the edge of the fretboard, not too much. We are pretty even. I'd love to get a fret gauge on this, but I don't have one at the moment. I still see a little divot here, but that could be because the nut is actually not on straight or level. That's definitely coming off. That is definitely coming off. Yeah, very happy. You can you can run your whole hand down that. I'm putting some pressure on that now. And there's no divot coming into the fingers. This is ready for staining. This is also ready for machine heads. Definitely ready for a new nut. And then the next stage is the fun bit. Although I've enjoyed doing these videos. Most of the mechanical side of things done now. We are going to do some wood staining. I'm going to choose 2 different colours and we're going to try our best at some form of burst. But on a telly, it's going to be interesting. Next time, the wood staining.